Hi friends. So I'm currently I guess I'm in Pasadena because I wanted to come to a yarn store that is holding a yarn that I'm thinking about possibly using for a test knit. I just applied, to be fair. I'm probably jumping the gun. I don't know if I'm gonna get the test knit. It's for Kara's summer drop, but even if I don't, then I have it ready for when I can knit the project. Oh, I just showed it, but it's this sage green. I think it's technically called jade green in alpaca lin from Rauma Garn. Gonna just say it like that. Yeah, so it's this one, and it's very nice. Oh my gosh, I forgot what her name was already in the store. I know it's on Yelp. It's a yarn store in Pasadena called Wool House, Haus. So the last time I came, she also holds Sanis Garn, so she holds the linen one with the cotton, viscose, and linen. I forgot what it's called already. I feel like it's Lin or Line or something like that. It was just in there, but I forgot what it was already. And then there's also, she holds the Tin Silk Mohair by Sanis Garn. So if you're in the Southern California, Pasadena area, Wool House has Sanis Garn. So there you go. But I remember last time I went in, I asked her if it was like really nice, because I know a lot of people like it, especially on YouTube. Well, it's just a lot of people like it in general. It's just that I've heard about it from YouTube. But she had said, yeah, if you like it, but if you like something softer, maybe alpaca. And then she showed me the alpaca lin, and it's like an Aran weight, is from what I've seen online. I do like alpaca because I find that my skin is kind of sensitive, but when I'm working with I'm also working with knitting for Olive soft silk mohair, and it's like lovely, and it feels so soft, and like you wouldn't be able to tell that it wasn't, I don't know, it's not scratchy. But I even wanted to try the Sanis Garn again because Alexandra's Garn really likes it, and I want to be like her. But maybe another time if I have like an actual, because I don't have a project in mind for it, so maybe another time I can come out and get some Sanis Garn Tin Silk Mohair. I think maybe for a slip over, I think that could work. But this is like I said, I like alpaca because it's very soft on my skin, and then there's the linen holding it together instead of you know, like with mohair, there's the silk thread that holds everything together, but this one's linen. Someone's parking in front of me, so I just want to make sure they're not going to hit me. But this one is linen, and I think it'll be good, even for Southern California weather. It'll be okay for late fall. Oh my goodness, she parks so crooked. Anyway, for late fall into spring, like just before summer, so we'll see. But yeah, that's about it for now, I guess. I'm gonna go to a cafe and probably knit for 45 minutes or so, then I have to get going. I have some errands to run today, so. But I wanted to stop by the store before I had to do all that, because look at this. I like, honestly, as soon as I saw Kara's post about her summer drop, I was like, yes, I'm ready. And even if I don't get the test knit, like, I'm fully prepared. I think for her, she was using, based on what she put in the details for the test knit, or what she used, it seemed like she was using the Take Care Mohair. Yeah, I think that's the Wool and the Gang one. And that one you need 5 skeins, which I think was slightly more expensive than this. The Rauma Garn and the alpaca lin. I mean, I think online I've seen it range starting at $16.50 USD, and then at this store was $18. So I guess between that to this, so but I only needed 3, and because it has more yardage. I think the one from Wool and the Gang has 109 yards, and this one is 191 yards or 175 meters. for 50 grams. And it's very beautiful. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna stop now before I keep talking. Well, okay, so basically the design, Cara does either a long sleeve, I think it's called like tongue tied or all tied up or something like that. But she has a short sleeve and a long sleeve. The short sleeve's cute, but for some reason I really like the way the long sleeve looks, so I want to do the long sleeve. So that's why I got 3 skeins. If I did the short sleeve, I'd probably only need like 2 of them, or like 1.5. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go because I feel kind of weird because there's people like cars getting close to me, and I'm like, okay, anyway, bye. Hi friends, it's been such a long time since I've recorded. I was gonna put like a little bit of a clip before that. Well, before this. I'm sorry, I just woke up. Also, I haven't had coffee yet, so my mind is a little, you know. But I feel bad because I haven't recorded in a bit. And I kind of had thought about it a little bit too late about posting on my community page to maybe say, hey, I'm not going to be posting this week. See you back in a couple of weeks. Initially, I had wanted to. I have all these clips, which you'll see for a bit of a vlog. But then by the end of the week, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't really vlogged much. So I kind of thought it would be kind of pointless to post a 3-minute video, at least for my taste. Like I just didn't feel like putting out just 2 minutes. Also, it's like a lot of work for just 2 minutes. I'd rather do all the editing and all that, because like even too with editing, it might be shorter than 2 minutes, you know? So like with all of that, I'd rather it be longer form. But that's just me. So that's where that first week went. And then the second week, I was actually out of town with my family. We went to the Yosemite National Park here in California, and then we went to the Sequoia National Park. We got back on Saturday, which is when I usually post, sometimes Sundays. But then after that, we went straight into Big Bear for a couple of hours. And yeah, this week I've just been so tired, but it was a lot of fun. I did a lot more hiking than I'm used to, and not like walking trails, because you know most of California is not really a walkable city. Maybe San Francisco, but I also never lived there to know. But it seems small enough to be able to walk around. Downtown areas usually are, but I don't really like being in downtown areas, mostly because it's like really noisy and such. So yeah, other than that, most other places aren't very walkable. I think, in my opinion, I know like you can walk, but it's not as nicely put together as like, say like in England. I think England's like honestly the example of walkable cities, and I love it there. Like it doesn't feel like you're walking that much, but then at the end of the day, you look at your phone and you ended up clocking like 13 miles total for the day, and honestly, if I lived there, I'd be like the picture of health. I'm just kidding. I don't know where or why I got sidetracked. Oh, walking. Got it. So we went to Yosemite. It was very beautiful. The weather was really nice. It really did feel like spring. There's a waterfall at Yosemite National Park, and when we went, sorry, that's my kitty. And when we went, there was water coming down, like a lot of water. One of the members in our group said that when he had gone in the summer, it was like barely a tinkle. But this time it was really beautiful. It was really nice. I have some pictures, but I think my aunt was the one mostly documenting, so I didn't want to, well, have all of them, I guess. But before I went, I saw that I was going to be cold, and I didn't want to take out all of my winter wear for a few days, because then when we went to Sequoia, it was supposed to warm up a little bit, and I was basically just using like a duffel bag. So I had a regular sweater on. You see my kitty's tail? Here we go. Okay, Fred, say hello to the people of the internet. His name's Fred because his other brother was named George. So it sounds weird on their own, but together it makes sense. And then their other brother, the other two already have gotten adopted, so their names have changed. But before they were adopted, we named them so we can remember who was who. So there was Fred and George, and then the oldest, or the bigger one, the firstborn, we named him Oliver, like from Oliver and Company, because he was majority orange instead of having the white on him. They're all boys too. But anyway, oh my gosh, I keep getting sidetracked because he wants to play with everything on the table. Okay, so yeah, I knew it was going to be kind of cold. I only had a duffel bag, so I had a basic crew neck sweater that's usually pretty warm. It's like one of my university sweaters, and I think it's pretty warm. And then I decided, hey, there's a project that I wanted to do that I've kind of put on the back burner. I think it would be a very, very good project for this. And that's the cardigan I'm wearing right now. Oh, you probably got covered. It is called the Nanaimo cardigan. I think it's Good Day and Night. I think her name is Tara Lynn. Tara Lynn Morrison, I believe. Hi, Fred. It's really beautiful. This is my third one I've made, actually. I've made one for one of my friends. I made him one in a blue, and then I made the length longer, and then the sleeves longer too. And then I made my other best friend one. I made her one in pink, but I made it in I think it's like the Lion brand. It was the like blanket. It was like a massive skein of yarn that's like enough for a full blanket or afghan. So it's kind of like, I don't know what the material would be called. But it's like really plushy, and it's like basically a blanket on you. So I gave her that one. And then around the same time that I purchased the yarn for my friend, the first one that I made, I had purchased the yarn for this one. I just hadn't had the chance to make it yet. And also, even though chunky yarn does go by faster, I kind of have, like, my hands start hurting a lot more because of the needle size. So it's kind of hard for me to just want to go straight into super bulky yarns. I have to take breaks a lot more. It's kind of like either with really tiny needles or really big needles, my hands just, I'm pretty sure that's like everyone gets that. But yeah, so I'm happy I finally got to get it done. My kitty really wants attention. So this is the sleeve. You want to say hi to the people again? Hello, people of the internet. This is Fred. Okay. So this is my cardigan. I think the color is literally called terracotta. It's wool ease, thick and quick. I really like that yarn. I think that yarn is really nice. I had overestimated myself. I thought I would be able to get it done in the first drive of, like just the drive to Yosemite, because it's about a 5 to 6 hour drive. Because I think the night before we left, I had gotten the collar done. And then I started getting the raglan increases done. And then I believe on the drive, I was mostly doing the arms. But I took a lot more breaks than anticipated. So I finished it the night we got there. Because I wanted to wear it the next day because it's cold.
But initially, you know, I had no blocking materials with me, so I kind of just let it be. But then I found out the house had a washer and dryer, and then I quickly looked up online brand how to take care of woolies, and online it said you can wash and dry it as normal. Woolies is 80% acrylic and 20% wool, so maybe that's why. But I did end up washing it, and then the next day my grandma was like, wow, I really like it. It looks like it, you know, like, and I was like, oh, that's weird, because usually with acrylic, that doesn't really like open up that much, if that makes sense. Like, I find that at least the acrylic I've used, which the only one I've used is Paint Box, that he wants to say hi again. That one has a, no, you can't be on the table. Sorry guys. That one, the Paint Box acrylic does open a little bit, maybe like by a stitch or like half a stitch on each side, but not by a lot. It kind of more like just relaxes. So I guess I was kind of surprised that that happened here, but it did. It kind of felt more like just relaxed and chilled, because then also the sides, there's no like ribbing or anything like that, so it was kind of like pretty stiff, so it kind of just relaxed a little bit, which I really like. So I did this in like a day and a half, I guess, if you were to count it all together. And then I had another project that I was supposed to be finishing that week instead of casting on another one spontaneously, but you know the vibes, guys. So I was supposed to be finishing this Novice cardigan for my sister-in-law, because it was her birthday on Saturday. I finished a sleeve, I believe, while we were up there. But driving back down, I was just too tired to get the other sleeve going. Let me adjust the needle so nothing falls off. But I have, everything's basically done. Here's the sleeve. I have to, even though you pick up some stitches on the underarm, there's still like a couple of holes right there, so I'm gonna close this up. I even put a little tag in. It says Breeze Knits. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it. There you go. I also don't know how to like sew the tags in, so this is just what I've been doing. So yeah. Also, because it's a polyester tag, so I feel like if I only did it like on the sides, I don't know, it's just kind of weird, so I just rather sew it all down. I wasn't doing buttons for this one. It's just the plackets up front, which I think like all of this, it kind of looks, I gave one, okay. My brain needs to slow down. Okay, so I gave another Novice cardigan to my other sister-in-law. I think it was a year or two ago. But it was funny because the cast off that I did, I looked it up. I just went on YouTube and just put stretchy cast off. And I think I was directed to a Very Pink Knits video. And it was a cast off for 1x1 rib. And I use that one quite frequently, actually, because I really like it. I know Italian bind off is a little bit more neat, but sometimes if I just can't be bothered, I'll just do the stretchy one. So I did that here, and I did that at the bottom of the sleeve. The green looks like insane right now. Anyway, and I did that here. But with my sister-in-law's, the first one, I didn't wash it, I don't think. So she's like, oh, you made ruffles. I was like, no, I didn't. I guess that's the only downside of this cast off, but I'm pretty sure with washing, it'll go away. And then I'm on the second sleeve. Usually sleeves aren't really, they don't take me that long, but I'm also working on my test knit for Friday knits, so that kind of takes, I kind of told myself that if I didn't finish it last week, the cardigan, I was going to make the test knit a precedent because that has a deadline. I mean, technically the cardigan had a deadline, but this has a deadline. And also sleeves don't take me that long. But I am currently working on my Eloise top. by Friday Knits. Here it is. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram when it was just the back that was done. And for some reason my needles are being kind of wonky, so you can't really see the, there we go, the sweetheart. I feel like I did something wrong in the center because of like how just straight and open it is. But I don't feel like ripping it back. And also, who's to say what everyone's bust will look like? But I like it so far. The mohair part actually worked up a lot faster than I expected. So the back portion I actually finished this week. I had, I believe, whenever I posted my Instagram picture, that's when I finished it. But then I continued with the shoulders and with the front piece. And so that was, I think I did before I slit the back. So maybe here, that was done before I left. And that was just all mohair. And then now, within a week, here we go, in the round. So I think it's working up really fast and really nicely. I also just realized, basically like similar color, this yarn is also Lion brand. It's their Superwash Merino, and it's a type of terracotta. And the mohair is Knitting for Olive Plum Rose. So I thought it was actually a pretty good match. Yeah, I'm really liking how the way it's working up. I think some of the testers are doing it in white. It looks absolutely gorgeous in white. I feel like if you had a really nice skirt to go with it, it would be such a cute little like wedding outfit. If you did like courthouse, or I guess even however you want to get married, really, whatever outfit you want to do, you're the bride. Like it just looks like it would be perfect, like wedding day vibes, if you had the right skirt to go with it. Or trousers. I think trousers would look really awesome with it too. Honestly, I just feel like it's pretty wearable, and you can just switch it up or wear it with anything. Even though it's really delicate, who cares? I think it looks good in almost every circumstance. Before I worked it in the round with my 2 yarns, with the superwash and the mohair, my husband was like, wow, that looks really delicate, like the top portion. And I was like, it is really delicate. And he's like, it looks like anything can mess it up. And I'm like, please don't tell me that. Like, I mean, I feel the same way, but I don't feel like, I don't want everybody else to think that, because I don't know, like I just feel like that's just putting something out into the world of like something could happen to it, and I would just rather not. Just keep those thoughts to yourself, because I think it's a very beautiful piece, and I intend on having it for a very long time. And I actually want to do another one. I just don't know what color yet. I think white is like a very good choice. I think that'll be super versatile. But I was also thinking, like, just in regards to, I guess, my personal closet, I think a nice burgundy would be good. I've seen some greens with the test knits, and they look really pretty. But I was trying to think of like what it would look like in my closet, and I think so far all I can really think of is like a really nice burgundy. And I know Knitting for Olive has their Bordeaux, which I think would be really nice. And then I can just find a DK weight to do the rest of the body. Because I technically don't need mohair for the body, but because I was trying to use what I had in my stash, and this is technically more of a sport weight than it is a DK weight. So I just paired it with the mohair, and yeah. Also, I'm very shocked because, okay, I'm knitting a size medium, and most of this mohair bit I have gotten, let me see if I have what I have the rest of, but I got through it with mostly one ball. Okay, yes. this is what's left. I didn't want to use it right away because I didn't want to like have to put it in or like tie it in. So I'm going to use it at the end if there's a need for it. Although I feel like I may have ordered too much knitting for Olive now that I'm seeing like how far it's going. I ordered 5 skeins of knitting for Olive. But I mean, who knows, maybe for the body it'll go through quicker, and I know I still have the sleeves to go through, which truth be told, I'm actually more nervous about the sleeves than I am about like the front and back panels, because this was worked, I think this is okay to say, the top portion was worked flat, and then you work in the round later, but the sleeves are worked in the round, so I'm really nervous about the chart there. But yeah, I think it's working along very nicely. I'm very tempted to cast on a summer top, but I'm kind of telling myself I have to wait until I finish at least my sister-in-law's cardigan. I mean, to be honest, I'm also trying to work through my test knit as soon as possible, because like I said, there is a deadline, and then the other test knit I did for ocean knits, I'm done with it already. But I wanted to take a really nice picture, and today it's like super gloomy, which is not usual for my area. I don't know, like when it goes from super hot to super cold and like rainy out of nowhere, my husband and I are always like, it's earthquake weather, like it just might be happening soon, or we might get one soon, because there was a heat wave and it was absolutely insane, and then now all of a sudden it's super gloomy, which is not nice. But yeah, I need to take a picture. I mean, I'll probably be able to do that here too. I think my husband has an extra light that we can probably use. And then I think I also wanted to submit a video or do another reel, but sometimes I have ideas in my head and I don't know if it'll actually look good, and then I try it and I'm like, makes me sad because it didn't like look as I thought in my head, you know. But yeah, that is all for the things that I've been working on this week. I actually got a lot done between this cardigan and the other cardigan. I feel like that was a lot. And again, this top too, I feel like I'm kind of going through it with ease. I did have a bit of an issue with doing it in the round, with adding the new yarn. And I had sent like voice notes to Phoebe and then like even a video, because I'm like, okay, I think pictures and texting is not working for me because of the way that I feel like I messed up. And finally we got it worked out, and it was absolutely perfect, and she's so cool. But yeah, we got it figured out, so now I can just full steam ahead. I think I had put down the top, for about a day and a half. So Phoebe is in Australia, I am not, and I totally understand that. So that's when I took the chance to keep working on the second sleeve of my sister-in-law's cardigan. I feel like I missed something too. Anyway, so then when she responded, I think I waited because I think for my time it was night already. So I just kept working on the sleeve and then got back to the Eloise top in the morning. So I think still that's pretty good progress. Here we are. I think I'll have to wait and see what it looks like on. But I think it's looking pretty good so far. Even like if you wore it inside out, it looks really nice too. Well, the garter stitches actually look a little bit more like puffed out, so maybe not. But there we are. Can't wait to show you the finished result. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Because I was looking at the Novice cardigan. So I didn't do buttons. Let me explain why. I think I can say it because she's already posted it and it's been on social media for a little bit. but my sister-in-law is pregnant with her first baby. So I thought, like, I'm also not sure with pregnant women. I've heard that you can either, I know we're in Southern California, it's going to be summer soon, but I'm not sure. Like, I've heard that, and I could be wrong, but I've heard that with moms, pregnant moms, that you can either feel really overheated or you can be really cold. So I figured either way, and it's a color that she likes too, that she can still wear it even if she grows this way, straight forward. So you can just wear it over her. And then I don't think she watches these, but I thought about even doing like a matching cardigan for the baby with the petite knit. I think it's the Allen's cardigan because I already have that pattern, but I think the smallest size is like 6 to 9 months, which I think it'll be fine, or I'll probably do like the year, because I'm not sure like how big the baby will be when he or she comes into the world. And I'll do it in the same color because I have like a crap ton of acrylic I need to get through. But yeah, so I have a ton of acrylic. I thought about selling some of it, but honestly, I don't know who would want to buy acrylic, or where I would even go to sell it. I am on a couple of Discords, so maybe, but I feel like maybe not, because I don't know, I just don't think a lot of people are working with acrylic. I think I can use some for the baby, but I don't know. And then personally for me, I think I'm fine with it if it's like a cardigan, or even if it's a blend. Like, I'm okay with it if it's a blend. But if it's just acrylic, I've learned some ways online of how to make it softer, and that have worked, and I've tried it on the baby bloomers that I finished a while ago. There's one method of putting like vinegar with the water, and then you just soak it in there for 15 minutes. But that one, it peeled like crazy. So I didn't like that. I had to like de-peel it super fast and right away. But even then with the bloomers, it's hard because there's like all these small little bits and pieces. So I'd have to like stretch it out and then peel some of the parts still. And then there was another one where you just put conditioner on it, like hair conditioner, and then put it in water and let it soak for a little bit. And that one actually yielded the best results. It was very soft when it was done. I just can't see myself wearing acrylic next to skin, which is funny because obviously this cardigan is next to skin. Boop. But I just had really bad experiences with it. Like, if I were to make it into like a t-shirt, maybe not. Maybe a tank top. Maybe that'll be okay. Because it's not. I think it's usually like if it touches my underarm. I've usually gotten rashes from synthetic fibers when I sweat and such. So I'm just not a fan. But with cardigans and such, it's okay. But I bought a ton of acrylic when I started knitting because I really wanted to just knit everything. But then too, when I knit with it, I'm not flipping you off, I promise, but this part of my finger has gotten like a lot of calluses, and I find that if I'm working a big piece, I have to stop not more often, but just it just feels like it's cutting into my skin. But it's just a callus now, like right there on that part of my finger is calloused from using the acrylic. I do think it's helpful in some cases. My husband, I have bought like a lot of light brown acrylic and thought about making him another Hans Holm sweater, because I did make him one with wool. And it was fine, but I think a lot of people's neck area is really sensitive. But the neckline, I guess, is too close to his skin that it was too itchy for him. So I think if I were to make another one, I could just make the light brown one for him, because it's a color that he wears anyway. Because when I put acrylic on him, he was like, yeah, that feels fine. That feels great. And I'm like, ah, okay. So maybe I'll do that. But I also have other stuff, like I have like a mint color. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with. So I guess I'll figure it out along the way. Maybe I'll, my aunt's having a baby girl, so maybe I'll do like a mint, cute little spring thing. But I also bought like a cotton bamboo yarn for her to make a spring onesie or romper. I guess a onesie would be more, I don't know, whatever. So I also wanted to talk about something that I posted on my Instagram stories recently. I have finally decided to tell the world that I want to design something. But I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, so I just thought I'd tell you guys too. And also, it's weird because I didn't want my Instagram stories to be like all be text, but then it ended up being mostly text anyway. I think it's because I'm used to my old phone. My mic didn't work towards like half of its life. So now I forget that my microphone works on my phone and I could just talk instead of just putting text over myself, which probably would have been easier, but I probably also would have been rambling for like days if I did that. But basically, what I had said was I felt very vulnerable because it feels weird saying that I want to design something. Because part of me is like, do we really need another knitwear designer? There's like so many out there. And then part of me also thinks like, I think one of my friends had told me this a while ago, or maybe I heard it on TikTok and I'm confusing it with a friend's voice. But basically, like, even though there are other things on the market, or people have said the same thing, or people have made the same thing, like, it hasn't been done by you. So I was trying to think about that and kind of just like let it simmer a little bit. I think for me it takes a while to admit to myself that I want to do it and to allow myself to do it. Like with this YouTube channel, I've been on YouTube before. I did book stuff, but then I stopped because I wasn't really like, I still like to read, but I felt the pressure of like constantly having to put out content. And I was definitely slower than most booktubers for reading constantly, and it seemed like they read 5 books in a month, and I cannot do that. So I just stopped. I felt so discouraged. But then with knitting, when I started watching some other people's podcasts, I kind of was like, oh, that's cool. And then my husband was like, you should do that. And I was like, no, it's okay. Maybe not. And then one morning, I think I just woke up and I was like, yeah, I think I do want to make this YouTube channel happen. So here we are. I think it's the same thing with designing. When I was in high school, I really, really wanted to become a designer. I even helped open a fashion club at our school. I did all of the if I remember correctly, I did the wording to make it okay for us to open it. And then my dad and I was like so into the idea that my dad and I went to go visit, some of you guys are familiar, I'm not sure if you are, it's the Fashion Institute of Design, and I forgot what the M stands for, but basically FIDM is the acronym. It's a fashion school in Los Angeles, and I was really convinced that I wanted to do it. But then one of my friends was actually in fashion school, I think not FIDM, but she sewed, she made clothes, and she's like, it's a lot of geometry and like blah, 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 and math, and I was like, oh, math, no. And then also my drawing sucks, like insanely sucks. So I try on Procreate now, which I think it's like, it's okay, it's fine. I'm not going to be a graphic designer anytime soon, but I do feel a little bit more comfortable. So Yeah, so all of that, I kind of just felt like I couldn't do it. And even then, too, like the world of fashion and fashion designing kind of felt like a dog eat dog world. But I guess almost every world is like that, like kind of fast paced and maybe something I wasn't ready for at that time. So I kind of just left it alone. Became an English major because I loved reading and I loved analyzing words and like slight history behind things. But even though we're English majors, we're not historians, but I loved it. I loved every part of it. And then I started knitting. And then within a year and a half, I think it's been about, wait, okay, let me think. 2019. Wait, when did we shut down? 2020. Okay, March 2020. Okay, yeah, it's been officially 2 years. So I was trying to think, like, how long has it been? I thought it's been like 3 years since I started knitting. No, 2 years. I actually started knitting before the shutdowns, and it just happened to be that we shut down, and I was still learning. But yeah, I had decided before that to start learning. But I think it's super cool that during the pandemic, everybody started picking up super cool hobbies like knitting and crocheting. Like, that's super freaking awesome. Because I kind of also feel like I started knitting in the pandemic. So anyway, within like a year and a half, I started feeling like, hey, you know, maybe I can design something. Like, I could see this as a knitted design. I could see this as a knitted design. And I was like, no, maybe not. You know, I don't think I can do it. And then I had told my husband. He was the only person I had told, like, I think I want to design something. And that was around December 2021. And I was like, I don't know what yet, but I think I really want to. And I was looking at iPads. I was looking at all of these things, right? And then he had gotten me an iPad for finishing my master's program. And I started to get to work. I started looking. I started being inspired. I started thinking about the things that I like, things that I would want to make. And then in April, I think in like February and March, I started having like more of a clear, concrete idea of what I wanted to do. And then in April, I had more of like, not the yarn choices, but the fibers I wanted. I drew up what I wanted. So basically it's a garment, more specifically a dress, but I think that's as much as I want to say. Most of my life, even in any sort of creativity aspect, I've been a little protective of my work until I feel like it's just right to share. So I don't know. But also I'm in like this weird part now where, okay, backtrack. So I had posted on my Instagram and I had said, like, you know, the only thing that was really stopping me was math, which is true. Like, the grading part seems very daunting and just the math is very scary. But then I had posted about it on my Instagram stories, and some people sent me other people's Instagrams to look at. Some people sent me wonderful words of encouragement. And it just felt really nice. And then, oh my gosh, I think her name is, I looked at her Instagram to be able to pronounce it right. Maral? I'm going to say yes. Her Instagram handle is Knitting Ruined My Life. She's doing the cowboy or cowgirl top. It's super cute. Circular yoke with color work. It's super freaking adorable. But she reached out and was like, you know, I used a pattern grader because that helped with the math a lot more. And she's like, I found them on this website. I think it was like the Tech Editor Hub. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. This was like the best resource ever. And then after that message, I felt like it was becoming real. And now I'm in the process of looking at different yarns, what I want to use, what I don't want to use. I think, since we started seeing the surgence of, or the surge, not surgence, I don't think that's the word, a surge of like designers basically almost using every medium of weight or fiber within one style group, which is fine, I totally get that. But seeing that, I was kind of like, oh, like, I don't know why, but in my head, for such a long time, I was thinking cotton merino. It has to be cotton merino because that way it can be worn whenever, right? But then, as I was looking into more cotton merino options, the one that I liked the idea of the most was probably knitting for Olive. And then there was the Holst yarn. But I also want it to be like somewhat affordable, or like you can use affordable options like drops and such, because it is a dress, so it's a lot more material to go through and work with. But I want that option to be there. I also want it to be size inclusive and such, so I'm just thinking of materials in mind. I also would like to do one with hand-dyed yarn, but we'll see how that goes, because hand-dyed yarn is super expensive. But yeah, so I wanted to find something pretty affordable. So right now I'm looking at drops. I love alpaca, so I was looking at their alpaca silk, and then also the kid silk mohair as an option, or even just the alpaca silk. So I've been looking around with that. I tried looking at Lion Brand to see if I liked anything there, but I don't think I do. Like I tried looking at more of the superwash merino colors. Most of them aren't really my vibe, so probably not. I was looking at Cascade Heritage yarns, because I think for what you get, it's pretty worth the money. Just trying to think of anything else. So right now, I'm not doing cotton merino anymore. Sorry, my brain is going like way faster than me. So I feel like I already said it, but I didn't. So no, I'm not doing cotton merino anymore. So what I had thought of with the like different fiber types was to do like a fall winter version and a spring summer version. That's it. Because it would also be different weights, and more than likely different needle sizes, different gauge, different material. One would be plant fiber, one would be animal fiber. So that's what I was thinking about doing, and also maybe mixing some techniques like sewing, but it could be like hand sewing. It doesn't need to be with a sewing machine, because needles are more accessible than sewing machines. And also I don't think like basic hand sewing is not too difficult. I'll probably have to include some videos by Bernadette Banner on how to hand sew, or just look up stuff. Because I was taught how to do a basic stitch by hand by my grandma. So for me, it's not too bad, but is it the cleanest? No, but I can get done. So yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that. So I'm very excited about getting started, although I am very overwhelmed by like picking yarn, because I'm thinking like, how do other designers do it? Like I think Cara posted that she gets like designer's discount or something on Wool in the Gang. And I'm like, I wonder if you have to like hit a certain number of followers on Instagram, or you have to have like a certain number of like designs out there before you can get that. Not that I'm planning on doing a lot of chunky yarn, as I said before, but maybe some of the plant fibers sound interesting. Or like I was thinking about like hand-dyed yarn. I was like, you know, if I want to do the first sample in like a bit more of affordable yarn, but then the second sample, I would like, the dream in my head is to use a very colorful, light, beautiful hand-dyed yarn, specifically Sorella, because I love Sorella yarn. Honestly, cannot get enough. I think her colors are super beautiful, and I don't know, it's just like the perfect sweet spot, you know, like every hand dyer has like their kind of like a vibe or feeling. It doesn't matter if they come out with like whatever collections they come out with, they have their specific thing. And I really like Sorella's thing. Sorry, I like her aesthetic. That sounded so weird. I like Sorella's aesthetic. I like Explorer Knits and Fibers for specific colors. Although I think her Ireland collection came out gorgeous all the way around. But Sorella, like all of her light colors and variegated light colors, like the bright ones, masterpieces. Honestly, her aesthetic is like 100. Love it. Even her seasonal tonals, love it. She is doing something right. Every time Sorella posts a new colorway, there we go. Every time she posts a new colorway, I am thoroughly enthralled. I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, so that's my dream. But I'm like, do I, you know, it's also kind of expensive. I'm like, do I reach out and ask like, hey, I'm designing this thing. I already designed it with these yarns, but I would really love to, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel weird about that. I feel like really weird about just being like, hey, how you doing? It's a TikTok sound. Anybody? No? I don't know. Do people do that though? Do designers like reach out to yarn people and ask for discounts or ask if they'll sponsor I don't know. I can't wrap my brain around it. But yeah, that's about it for the design. Basically, I want to design something. I am in the process of looking at yarn. I'm also very overwhelmed by the idea of starting. I'm also kind of overwhelmed by the idea of ordering yarn. Like, do you start off right away? Like, just order crap ton of yarn? Or I'm thinking what sounds a bit more feasible right now is to order one skein of each yarn that I was thinking of. I actually had like 6 yarns in my cart the other day, and then I'm like a person that likes to sit on it, simmer, and then we'll delete stuff. So I deleted a couple. I think I have 4 now. And then I'm like, okay, so is that good enough? And then I swatch, and then if I like it, then I go back and buy as much I need, which I guess makes sense. But I'm just not sure if that's how other people do it. But that's what makes sense to me, because I don't want to buy a dress quantity of yarn and then not like it and then not do anything with it and then not be able to return it. I mean, I probably would eventually down the line figure out something to do with it, but I just don't want it sitting there, you know? So yeah, I don't know. Also, I've been working on this down here. That's why I've been looking down. I feel super rude. Hold on. I feel like I should be like Bethany and just show you what I'm working on while I do it. There you go. Although it does look like it matches my cardigan. But okay, so this catch-up portion has almost a whole hour, so I feel like I should just stop here, because I do have other clips I might enter before this. I also realized I'm really bad at thumbnails, so I don't know what I'm gonna do for this thumbnail. So thank you all for listening to me chat and catching up. I have a couple of other things to show in a later podcast. I don't know if I'll do a vlog this week. Maybe I will. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for sticking around if you watched all the way to the end. If you have any recommendations for affordable animal fibers other than drops, let me know. Or if you have any suggestions on where to sell my acrylic yarn, also let me know. Yeah. Bye guys.